What would happen if you inserted a long rod into a black hole? What would happen if you insert a long rod into water? You can easily pull it out of the water. This is because the straight rod is a hole. When you grab one end of the straight rod, the other end will also be lifted. From a microscopic perspective, when you grab one end of the rod, you apply a force to the electrons, and this pulling force between the electrons propagates at nearly the speed of light. Now let's insert a long rod into a black hole and see what happens. First, according to relativity, the closer you are to the black hole, the slower time passes. Therefore, the time flow at both ends of the long rod is different. From the perspective of the other end of the long rod, the time flow at the end we are holding would become very fast. Thus, when the long rod is inserted into the black hole, the end closer to the black hole will very quickly receive the pressure transmitted by the electrons. At this point, the rod near the black hole will burst first. Unfortunately, we cannot observe this phenomenon. This is because the gravitational force near the black hole has redshifted visible light out of the human eye, the invisible infrared light. Another perspective suggests that, similarly based on relativity, although the flow of time at both ends of the long rod is different, from our perspective, the flow of time of the rod near the black hole is extremely slow at that moment. The other end of the long rod will generate a very powerful pulling force, like a thin rope that breaks under the weight of too heavy a load. This pulling force will tear the long rod into two pieces. Even more surprisingly, if you throw this long rod into the black hole, it will no longer be subjected to any external forces. At this point, it is like floating in a vacuum. Its other end will neither explode nor break. This is because, although time slows down near the black hole, the speed of electrons on this end is faster than on the end farther from the black hole, thus offsetting the different tension caused by time dilation and the resulting different pulling forces. At this time, the long rod behaves like a free fall and can fall completely into the black hole.